So when you apply to the California State University, most students are going to be applying as an upper division transfer student, meaning that they have the 60 transferable units completed. There are some campuses that will accept lower division transfer students, and those are students that did not complete 60 transferable units. Not all schools will accept lower division transfer students, so that really has to be researched. And when you're a lower division transfer student, you had to have been eligible as a freshman to enter the CSU campus, meaning you had your A through G requirements done and any other, freshman admission requirements were completed. And then you also have to have some specific courses done at the community college, like your English and math and that type of thing. So there are some students that want to transfer after 1 year, and so we have to research that and see, well, is the campus accepting lower division transfer students? Is your major? Do you have everything done? And that type of thing. But we're going to specifically be talking about upper division transfer students and how that works here. So the fall transfer application for the CSU opens on October 1st, and the priority deadline is November 30th. My guess is I haven't seen anything yet that it might get extended for this year because November 30th is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which doesn't allow for time if a student gets hung up on something or needs help. The other thing that we've seen the last few years is a lot of campuses extending their deadlines, so they will remain open after November 30th. However, let's say you're applying to Cal Poly San Luis, they will close November 30th or December 2nd, whatever it ends up being this year. And so if you have Cal Poly who is closing at the priority deadline, but you're also applying to, let's say, San Marcos, who's extended to February 15th, you can't make changes to some of the application, like your grades. And so what you submitted to Cal Poly on the priority deadline will remain the same for San Marcos. You can go ahead and add that school and you can submit that application, let's say on January 10th, but you're not going to be able to go, oh gosh, I made a mistake. I need to make a change. That can't happen because you've already submitted it to Cal Poly. The spring transfer, so if you are transferring mid-year and starting at a campus in January, then that application is August 1st through the 31st. And you have to research to see if your campus is open, and if so, is your major open. So what happens is the CSUs admit their fall class, and then they see who accepted, their spot at their school. And then they decide if they have room for transfer students in the spring. And if so, then they open that application. So the last 2 years have been really, really, really good. All campuses have been open except for Cal Poly San Luis. And a lot of the majors were open. So typically we'll see things like nursing's not open, or maybe some of the engineering or more of the impacted types of majors. But the last couple of years, it's been good. The application can be found at this website, calstate.edu/apply. And you can create an account and then go through the application that way. There are no essays required when you apply to a CSU. If you are applying to the EOP program, the Extended Opportunity program, then they have several short questions to answer. And I believe you have I don't even know, 2,500 characters, meaning letters to answer. So it's fairly short that you're, doing your responses to those questions. But if you're not applying to EOP, then there's no essays. There's also no letters of recommendation that you submit. So students ask about that. Again, the EOP program does have, they call it a letter of recommendation, but it's not really, because it's specific questions that the person has to answer. Within the application, you're going to report all college classes and all grades you have received. So that includes courses you took in high school. If you took a class and you withdrew from the class, it goes on the report. If you received a D or F grade, if you repeated a course, if you have academic renewal, it all goes into the application. So basically, what you're doing is following your transcript. If it's on the transcript, it goes in there. If you attended more than one college, all colleges have to be reported. So there's no hiding things. And again, if you are applying to an impacted school or a major, there may be a supplemental application process that you also have to complete. All right, so the cost of attending the CSU. They say if you're living at home, it's between 18 to 20,000. If you're living on or off campus, 25 to 30,000. And the majority of this is your housing. So the tuition fee just went up for this year, and it is now $6,084 per academic year for students who are enrolled in more than 6 units. So at SRJC, you pay a per unit fee, right? Where when you go to the four-year university, you pay according to if you're a full-time or part-time student. So a full-time student or somebody who's enrolled in 6.5 units is going to pay the $6,000. And so for myself, when I changed my major at Sac State, instead of taking 12 units, I took like 15, 16, 17 units because I didn't want to go another semester and pay more fees. And so I knew I was paying the same amount no matter what. And so I just took more units. And that worked for me. That's, not going to work for every student. So you have to decide that. And then each campus has unique mandatory fees that are on top of that tuition fee. So let's go ahead and look at those things. Let me pull this over here. So here are, actually, let's look at this one first. This, I don't know, this little box here kept coming up. I'm not quite sure why. Scoot this over here. So here's the undergraduate. That's what you would be as an undergrad. And if you're in 6.1 or more units, you're paying the $6,084. If you're in 0 to 6 units, you're paying $3,528. Then it goes into credential programs, graduate, doctorate, that type of thing. So, and non-resident fees are here as well. Okay. And then the campus mandatory fees. Hold on, I want to see if I can. I'm going to pause the video real quick. Hold on. Okay, I wanted to get that larger. This is still showing the 23, 24. So, but for the purposes of this, it's fine just to show you what the fees are. So over on the left-hand side are the campuses, and then it's showing what the various fees are. So a health facilities fee, health services. So same like at SRJC, you can access their health services department so you don't have to, run to Kaiser or whatever. You can go there and get prescriptions and that type of thing. Instructionally related activities, materials, services, and facilities, student success fee, student association fee, the student center. That's the big one. Okay, so a lot of these campuses have recently built rec centers, and so they tacked that fee on to students to be able to pay for those. Okay, and then it's showing you this is the undergraduate full-time tuition that it was last year because this has not been updated. And so again, this is going to be a little bit different, but you can see what the totals were. So this went up by, $300 or something. So I wanted to show you that Sonoma State's fees are actually one of the highest at $8,190, or we'll call it $8,390. You've got a couple schools higher than that. You have Cal Poly San Luis. You have San Diego State just by a little, and Chico, no, is not higher. So Sonoma State's fees are quite high. Um, and you can see here, it's, really that rec fee, student center fee. And that rec center was built over 10 years ago. So they've been charging every student, those fees since probably before it was built. And so that's interesting. Um, this fee for Cal Poly, this is the materials, services, and facilities fee. So that's interesting that that's so high. Look at Sonoma, it's only 46. So I don't know why. It's interesting. So you got those little fees as well. Okay. Um, and let me move this back up. Sorry. All right. I think we're going to go into, oh yeah, taking a tour. So it's really important that you visit campuses that you're interested in attending. Take a road trip, set up a tour through the outreach office. You can ask if it's possible to sit in a class for your department. Go to the department and talk to the faculty or the admin assistant or, students over there. Ask if there's any special events that you can attend. So typically in the spring, campuses have their open houses that you can go to, and those are really fun events. There's lots going on. My other recommendation is that you try to go during the week and not on a weekend to really see what the campus is like. And the other thing is, if you visit a campus and you get there, you will have this feeling. It's very interesting. Almost just like right when you drive up, like, nope, this is not the place for me. And so my recommendation is still get out, take the tour, see what the campus is like and then make a decision from there. Because you've gone all that way. So go ahead and take advantage of that. And then this week we're going to start our virtual tours in the assignment section. So this is a great way to get a feel for the campus, but it does not replace physically visiting a campus. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions on that information.